seagulls are hungry, they should take the fish from my hand. There's a fairly good chance that the pelicans will regard the feeding of seagulls as a complete and utter waste of perfectly good fish, and we may see some aerial combat. If you're exceptionally lucky, that aerial combat could take place over your heads, and if you happen to get bombed, that's regarded as a bonus, and not an election for which we don't
A
charge.
blue bird of happiness.
Most people find that incredibly generous. He's in trouble. Now the Pacific gull may take a piece, precision fly. Now when the pelicans come round, sometimes they do a fancy water ski landing. And it's also possible occasionally to trash their landings by throwing a piece of fish at them. And if I get a chance, I'll demonstrate for you. You do feel a wally.
You want to see how you look.
So we're chasing seagulls.
Chase the seagull.
When one of these pellies come round, I'll try and trash a landing for you.
Here they come.
Oops. Taking wheels.
You'll be in trouble. Too heavy for him, I think.
Yeah.
Certainly on his case here, he dropped it. Now, I think the Pacific gull may cruise past. They're brilliant things. Sometimes the seagulls can appear quite shy about taking the fish from my hand, and that is because when the pelicans are really hungry, they have been known to eat seagulls live. You got it. And I said sometimes pelicans have been known to eat seagulls live. One very distinguished pelican was seen eating a chihuahua live. Well, that justified that particular pelican's place on the face of the earth evermore in my opinion. Chihuahuas are dreadful things. They should not be encouraged by anybody. When pelicans eat their food, they do not chew it. They simply swallow everything whole, and you'll just have to accept as gospel that they can swallow a fair amount in one hit. And I'll try and demonstrate with the old fools on the platform, and I am of course referring to the pelicans. Now the trick here is to get a really good handful of fish. They try it in your general direction. Generally speaking, the pelicans will open their traps and catch it. Sometimes they don't, and that simply improves the people's behind enormously, but I haven't fished for a couple of days, so I could probably relax. The other thing that might happen is a really happy pelican might walk amongst you. If that happens, there's no need for hysterical squealing or indecently throwing your legs up in the air. Just relax, they won't eat you. You can see they're keen.
Yum, yum, yum. You keep putting your hand in front of them.
That one's a very happy pelican over there, you can see by his neck.
Really?
Very happy. Happy and proud. Some of you are probably wondering why I wear waders to feed these things. I don't think any idiot would attempt to feed these things wearing a kilt. Even on a really cold day, it'd be a stupid thing to try and do. The way the wind is tonight, after we've finished, there's a high probability that quite a few pelicans will fly past the end of the jetty to go hang gliding on the other side of the wharf and town to amuse themselves. If they decide to do it, it can be quite spectacular and worth waiting to see. Excuse me. When pelicans breed, they don't make a fancy nest, they just have a shallow scrape for a nest in which they lay up to 4 eggs. The eggs are creamy yellow in colour and rough textured, and they're unusual that the first egg laid will tend to be larger than the rest of them. He's on his case. They got him. They got him. Should have gone missed out. He did all the work. Poor bugger. No one gives a crumpet about seagulls. When pelicans breed, they don't make a fancy nest, they just have a shallow scrape for a nest which they lay up to 4 eggs. The eggs are creamy yellow in colour and rough textured, and they're unusual that the first egg laid will tend to be larger than the rest of them. The first chick to be hatched will probably be the only one that will survive because competition for food in the nest is so intense, the weaker ones basically die of starvation.